Hey guys, and welcome to another episode of Quick Expert Reviews. Today we've got the Samsung Galaxy A12, which recently launched in UK, and it is also launching in US and India next week. So in the box we've got the bog standard paperwork, which is a quick start guide in two languages, English and French, and a warranty card. Then we obviously have the phone itself. We also get the SIM key to open the SIM tray. We've got the fast charger, which is rated at 15 watts. So not a very super fast or ultra fast charger, but it's decent. And obviously, as it is with the UK plugs, it doubles up as a stand if anyone needs to use it like that. I tend to do that every now and then, so it's nice that it's possible. And then we've got the USB Type-C cable. No headphones, unfortunately, in the box itself. So on the back, we've got the LED flash and the four camera unit, the four lenses unit, which I'll focus on later on. Power button, which doubles up as a fingerprint sensor, volume up, volume down, second microphone, and then we've got the SIM tray. Now let's open it up and let's have a look what sort of SIM tray it is. And it is actually a full SIM tray, which means you can have two SIM cards and a memory card. So it's not a hybrid. You don't have to sacrifice the second SIM card for a memory card, which is brilliant in my opinion. I prefer it this way. Which is always nice. And then on the bottom we've got a 3.5mm jack, Type-C, which is USB 2.0, and a one mono bottom firing speaker. And then we've got the front facing 8 megapixel camera at the front, obviously being a front facing camera. I really like this texture on the back. It is plastic, but it is actually textured, which makes it less slippery. So let's have a look at what we are running on out of the box. This is a retail unit, so the same as if you would buy it in store. We've got Android 10, One UI 2.5, and an Android security patch level November 2020. Wow, considering we are in February 2021. Oh, wait a minute, we've got a software update. So let's have a look. What's new? Right, let's fire it up and see what happens after the software has been updated. And we're still on security patch level from November 2020. That's interesting. Very interesting. But it is what it is. Right, let's have a look at the device care. So we have a 5000 milliampere hour battery. We've got 64 gigabytes of internal storage, 4 gigabytes of RAM. Now, out of the box, you get around 48.2 gigabytes free for usage, but obviously I've installed some apps. So that's that. Then with the side key, the power button, which doubles up as a fingerprint sensor, we can program it as a shortcut button. So for example, it launches the camera, or we can set up any other app. It doesn't have to be a Samsung app. It can be any other app to launch when we double press it. I don't know if you use it like a Deliveroo or anything like that, you can do that. Smart pop-up view, which means you don't have to open the app to see the notification. It will pop up slightly. Then we've got some gestures. So we've got the lift to wake and we've got the double tap. So let's have a look how it works. Nope, not fast enough. And here we go. Lift to wake is working absolutely fine. Now let's try double tap. And it works fine as well. So it's always nice. Now considering the phone display is I believe HD plus, which is 720 by 1600, so a bit more than 720 by 2080. And it's made in the quite old TFT technology. It's not even IPS. It's nice that to have the double tap to wake, but unfortunately you don't get the always on display. One-handed mode, which works in both the gesture option, navigation option or standard button. So if we change it to gesture navigation, you can still use one-handed mode, which is very useful considering the size of the screen is 6.5 inch. So it's actually easier to use with a one-handed mode. And like I did mention, it does work with the gesture-based navigation. It wasn't always the case with the previous Samsung phones. It's nice that it is happening in here. In terms of security and with the way we can unlock the phone, we've got two options. We've got the fingerprint sensor and face unlock. Let's have a look. Fingerprint sensor very fast. Face unlock takes a while. And isn't as secure as the fingerprint sensor. So I would say that the fingerprint sensor is the way to go if you want to unlock the phone, and it's more secure as well. When it comes to display, like I did mention, TFT, which is quite an old technology, not to mention in 2021. Considering for the same price, you can get like a Xiaomi Poco X3 NFC, which I did also review recently. Nah. No, not good enough for £169. Then when we look at the sound options, we've got special sound effects. So if you want, you can use Dolby Atmos, equalizer, which allows you to adjust it to your liking. But with the Dolby Atmos, you have to plug in the headphones. Now I've got some Type-C headphones. Obviously, you do get the 3.5mm jack as well, which means that if you'd like to, you can plug in normal 3.5mm headphones. And then the Dolby Atmos is available again, so you can set it up to your liking. There is no manual mode or custom mode. These are all predefined for movies and music or auto. So the phone will try to guess what you're doing. And then when it comes to connectivity, you do get obviously Bluetooth, 5.0, Wi-Fi, and an NFC, which means you can use it with both Google Pay or Samsung Pay, which is always nice, especially considering the price of the phone. Now, in terms of pre-installed Samsung apps, some of them can finally be removed. However, if you're thinking about removing the Galaxy Store, you can't do that because the Galaxy Shop is actually something else. That's where you buy the hardware. If you want the apps, you have to go to the Galaxy Store. And this cannot be removed. Now, when it comes to Galaxy Store, I don't think that the Helio P35 in this phone will allow us to play Fortnite, but let's have a look. And yes, Fortnite is not available for this phone, unfortunately, but it is what it is. We will do some gaming later on in this video, but yeah, that's that. Now, considering the phone has only one mono firing speaker, let's have an actual listen to how it sounds. Now, when it comes to the camera itself, we've got live focus, which allows us to blur the background. When it comes to the actual cameras, we've got 4 units on the back. So we've got the 48 megapixel with an f-stop of 2.0, 5 megapixel unit, which is the ultra wide one with an f-stop of 2.2, and then we've got the 2 megapixel depth sensor and 2 megapixel macro unit, both with an f-stop of 2.4. So pretty decent camera samples, picture samples at the very end of the video. In terms of additional settings, as you can see, you've got some grid lines, you can record videos, unfortunately only in Full HD at 30 frames per second. So again, that Xiaomi looks slightly better. When it comes to the camera options, we've got a watermark. If you want to, you can customize it as well. And then that's pretty much it. In terms of video settings, they are very similar to the photo settings, just some of the options are grayed out. And then when we do more, we've got the Pro mode and the macro option as well. In the Pro mode, we can change the ISO, the exposure value, and the white balance. That's pretty much it. not much, not really a pro mode, and it doesn't work in video, unfortunately. When it comes to the full 48 megapixel option, you have to manually choose it. Otherwise, it will take 48 megapixel pictures, but it will downsample them slightly to get a bit more color out of them. Now let's have a look at the gaming side of things. So we've got Minecraft, which works quite well. Not going to say it's absolutely brilliant. As you can see, there is a bit of a stutter, but we are playing with fancy clouds and everything like that. I will show you the settings in a second. It works pretty decently, to be honest. For a phone that costs £169, has only 4 gigs of RAM and that Helio octa-core CPU, it actually works pretty well. So can't really complain when it comes to that. And like I did mention, let's have a look at some of the settings. Okay, so fancy graphics, as you can see, works pretty well. Obviously, if you downgrade the quality, turn off the fancy graphics, it works slightly better, runs at constant 60 frames per second. But it's up to you if you prefer that or not. And then obviously we've got the Samsung Game Booster, which allows us to, for example, block any apps. So we are not, no one will try and ruin our game while we are playing Minecraft or let's say Call of Duty, for example. So it's like do not disturb mode, no one can disturb us while we are gaming. Speaking of Call of Duty Mobile, let's have a look at what's going on in here, and straight away we can see a better performance than in Minecraft. In my opinion, it runs really, really good. So let's have a quick game. Now when it comes to gaming performance and the battery life, you do get a 5000 milliampere hour battery in the phone itself, so it's pretty decent. When it comes to actual battery usage, you do get browsing up to 20 hours, video playback up to 21 hours, audio playback around 110 hours, and talk time on 4G up to 34 hours. Now gaming wise, when you game a lot, you're not gonna get more than 5-6 hours, and that's obviously when you're playing quite heavy intensive 3D titles. But the phone itself also supports accelerometer, and you've got the proximity sensor, light sensor. It doesn't have a gyroscope, so Pokemon Go is a no-go, pun intended. I do apologize for that. But weighing in at 205 grams, it's actually quite comfortable for gaming. And last thing I wanted to test, which will be a standard thing right now, is Google. Now, I don't know if you've watched my recent review of the Nokia 3.4. Stadia was absolutely unplayable on that. Here, it's actually flawless. As you can see, I've got Cyberpunk 2077 fired up, and it works really, really well. So can't really complain. I'm actually happy with the performance. And considering my kids are currently streaming Disney Plus, I can't really complain because streaming services do really affect Stadia performance, and it's only 16 megabits down and 20 megabits up, megabits per second. So it's actually a very decent performance, and as you can see, I'm playing in the performance mode, so 60 frames per second. I always take frames over the visual quality, but yeah, it works really well, really, really well. Stadia is a game changer for me. So yeah, thanks for watching another episode of Quick Expert Reviews, and I'll speak to you soon, guys. Bye.